The premier confederation of all builders associations in India, CREDAI, is appealing to the consumers to establish a dialogue with the government to get better protection and also to get sanctioning authorities also in the ambit of RERA. We sat down with the President CREDAI to also get some clarity on what the developers think of RERA and the new GST bill.
We are now basically preparing for compliances vis-a-vis the GST and RERA. For that, CREDAI has already moved ahead of the curve, and we have tied up with another multinational company which will provide the software for us to be compliant whereas the application for the regulatory authority is concerned. Besides that, there were many other things that were flagged at the conclave, more so in front of the minister, urban development minister, like for example, and we want to sensitize our customers also about it. For example, in the regulatory bill, the sanctioning authority has been left out, the urban local body. So a developer may complete his project, absolutely right, lock and key ready to give to his customer, but before he can give it to the customer, he requires an occupancy certificate / completion certificate from the authority. He needs a water connection, he needs an electricity connection, he needs a sewer connection. So he has to go back to the urban local body or the government, so to speak, to get these papers before he can actually hand over possession of the apartment which is complete to the buyer. Now, when you go to these government departments to get these permissions, we all know what happens. They are kept in limbo, they are delayed, because the more the delay, the more money is to be made by the clerk sitting over there. So therefore, this is not being addressed by the regulatory act. The customer is going to suffer because of this. So we appeal to our customers to take this up with the government and also make these permissions time bound. What I would like to say is that the public at large must know that there are more than 100,000 so-called builders in India, but CREDAI has about 12,000 members who've got together under the umbrella of CREDAI to be more compliant, transparent and answerable to their customers, and we are evolving to that stage. We have a consumer redressals forum also where customers can complain against our members if they are members. So the impression that all real estate businessmen are black sheep is not correct, because as far as CREDAI goes, our association does take guarantee for its members, and we try and resolve whatever issues there may be between our member and their customers. So this is a step we are taking on our own, and we must be encouraged to do this more aggressively.
Do you feel that now the customer is much more aware, because we do see the Twitter activity and everything, but maybe he is not aware where the onus lies in a lot of things, and he tends to blame the developer for most of things. So when you're saying you want the customer to help you while engaging with the government, what kind of support do you want?
Well, the customer, there is a customer and there's an investor. The investor is in no hurry to get his house, but the customer is. The investor is only interested in making money by way of either appreciation or any other means. So the customers, we want the end users, the home user, to work with us and maybe make applications and put them through us to government to say, okay, we are with CREDAI, and we say that the urban local body must also be made a part of the regulatory bill. They must be made answerable, because tomorrow today they're not answerable to anybody. If there's a delay, if they arm twist or they try and extort or they blackmail, they're not answerable. You cannot complain against them except in a court of law, and that takes donkey's years to do.
Do you feel that approvals over the last 10 years, the way you used to get approvals earlier to now, have you seen any change, or you feel that it's still the same?
Well, there is a long way to go, but there's definitely a big effort from the government side, central government. Approvals are a state subject. So till this doesn't filter down to the central government's, their entire effort and their intention and intent doesn't filter down to state governments, and from state governments down to the bureaucrats, and from down from the bureaucrats to the clerks who are actually handling these files, it'll be a challenge. So we feel it's a long way to go. There's an intention there, but that's good news too.
Last question, RERA. RERA is set to roll out completely. There is a deadline. As developers, you've had some reservations about it. So how are you reacting to it?
The largest reservation was this, that the urban local bodies are not part of the act. They are not answerable. So if this is addressed, a lot of our problems will be sorted out. The other problem was that the the concern was, and more so for our consumers, that an ongoing project which is going on time, there's no problem there at all. If this has to be made answerable, it'll be compliant nonetheless. But if it is to be made answerable, then that may stall the project. And this is also not in the interest of the consumer, because how, when I say stall, how does it happen? So if RERA says that 70% of the money that has been collected should have been spent in construction, a good developer is anyway doing it. He has an escrow account with his banks, because they all leveraged. So the bank enforces an escrow account. All the money that comes from sales is used for construction. The bank ensures that. So that is why you see timely delivery in such projects. When a project is already compliant and already doing all these things, then for, just for the sake of making sure and, that this developer, he's, doing the right thing, in spite of his doing the right thing, what will happen is an audit will be asked for. When an audit is asked for, then you have to actually go back, stop what you're doing, go back, because what do you know what they may say tomorrow? So you have to actually stop your construction or slow it down, and then satisfy the audit, which may take 5, 6, 7 months, and then start again. So this is what should not happen. So I appeal to my consumers again, where they feel that a developer is on schedule and the buildings are coming up and they will see delivery, on the promised time, or maybe a few months here or there, they should just be patient and let it be completed. And if in case that doesn't happen, anyway the developers registered under RERA, and then they can put him to task.